Autumn is almost upon us, the days are getting darker, the weather is getting colder, and extortionate home energy bills are about to leave us all feeling like we've been mugged. But the great news is, Boris has announced that if we replace our old kettle with a new one, it could save us a whopping £10 a year on our £3,500 gas and electricity bill. Woohoo! Thank goodness for that. Crisis averted. And we can use that new kettle to fill the hot water bottle we're going to have to strap to ourselves from December to February because we're terrified of switching our radiators on. Because of course if we do switch our radiators on for a few hours each day, then our bank account are going to bleed out quicker than a haemophiliac in a car crash. We'll all be fine, of course, if we keep our coats on all the time and pad our clothing out with old newspapers, like homeless people do. Dignity is for those who can afford it. Preparation is key. Make sure you're well stocked up on warm clothes, as there's likely to be a Europe-wide woolly hat and glove shortage this winter. Zip-up fleeces will also be difficult to get hold of, but with any luck you might have a slightly moth-eaten one in the back of your wardrobe, left over from the early 90s when they were last considered socially acceptable attire outside of Nordic walking circles. If it gets really cold, consider having a bonfire in the garden to keep warm. There are plenty of things you could chuck on it, like over a decade's worth of useless politicians who've reduced this country to third world status. Other people that you're welcome to toss on your bonfire are the rabid eco-activists who virulently pushed the net zero agenda in recent years and made sure we've all been financially crippled with sneaky ubiquitous green taxes. Luckily, public libraries are being designated as warm spaces for people whose homes have been rendered uninhabitable by heating bills. As long as you don't mind getting caught up in drag queen story hour. Remember, it's all just harmless fun and entirely appropriate for your impressionable young children. Alternatively, you could go and sit in your local A&D for 5 hours and keep warm in there. It won't seem unusual at all, and no one will kick you out because it takes most people in A&D far longer than that to get seen by a nurse or doctor anyway, so they'll just think you're in the same soul-crushing, life-ruining queue that they are. Another way to keep warm that doesn't cost anything is exercise. Why not get the blood circulating by repeatedly smacking your head against the wall as the mental anguish of having all your money, your freedom and your lifestyle duplicitously snatched away from you by shady WEF globalist vampires really starts to manifest itself in a form of self-directed physical violence. And once the spring comes, those of us that have survived can simply scrape the icicles off our faces and continue to build back better in the name of our creepy pedo Davos overlords.